Did you know you can needle felt doll hair with flax fibre? Flax is a lovely, natural plant-based material that gives doll hair a realistic vintage feel, perfect for this little creepy cute goth girl. It does behave a little bit differently to other fibres, so keep watching to find out more. I've got a couple of packs of flax fibre in black and lilac, so I can make a sort of split dye effect. But first I need to make the doll. I'm using a silver grey cotton for the head, body and hands. Greys can sometimes look a bit pale on camera, so here it is next to some white so you can see the difference. This will be a 22cm doll. I've stuffed all the pieces with some polyester fibre and I'm jointing them together with some metal beads. Like most of my dolls, she'll have stripy legs. I want her to have a creepy cute vintage feel. She's going to be dressed mostly in black, so I've used some black cotton for the arms to look like long sleeves. I'm attaching the head to the body with a button joint so it'll tilt from side to side. One button goes on the back where it'll be hidden by the dress, then the thread goes up through the neck to the second button on top of the head, then back down to the first button. I check the tension of the thread so the head moves smoothly without falling to the side. Then I fasten it off. Before I attach the legs to the body, I want to paint some shoes on. I'm using some black acrylic paint for these, with a bit of fabric medium mixed in. I was going to give her some Mary Jane style shoes with a strap across the front, but I don't think a strap will show up much against the black stripes. So I'm going to bring the toe part up a little bit higher and keep these as slip-on shoes. I'm adding a bit of white acrylic to the toes to make them look a little bit old and worn, like they're her favourite pair of comfy shoes. The legs just need a small stitch at each side to hold them in place. She's going to be wearing some bloomers, so I'm not worrying too much about hiding the stitches. I'm using Gutterman top stitch thread for all the jointing. It's much thicker and stronger than standard polyester sewing thread, so it can take quite a lot of strain without snapping. The arms will be attached later over the clothing. First, I want to start on the face. I'm shading the eye area with Derwent Chromaflow pencils. These are quite soft, smudgy, high pigment coloured pencils. They're great on fabric. I'll put a link to where you can get them in the description. I start with black, then add some purple and blend it out towards the edges with a blending pencil till it fades out smoothly, creating the effect of a dark hollow shadow around the eyes. That'll need setting with a coat of fixative spray, so while that dries, I'll work on the clothing. I've made a simple pattern for an A-line dress, which will fit around the shoulders and flare out around the hips. This involved a bit of maths, so let me know in the comments if you'd like me to go over that in another video. I'm using some plain black cotton for the dress. I'll add a bit of decoration to it later. I've sewn the back and front pieces together. I'm hoping this will just slide up over the hips. I'll check it for fit, then hem the top and bottom. Looks good. I'll hem that, then find some lace for it. I decided on a white cotton lace panel down the front of the dress. I've just fixed that in place with some fabric glue. It's not quite dry yet, but before it gets too stiff to stitch through, I want to sew some buttons on. The fabric glue takes a bit of time to dry, so while I've been waiting, I've made some matching bloomers. These will be fixed in place, so instead of elastic, I'm doing a running stitch around the waist and the legs with top stitch thread. I'm not fastening them off just yet. I've knotted the ends to hold the threads in place. I'll gather those up and tie them off once they're on the doll. Okay. Time to get this little one dressed. The dress is just wide enough to slide over the hips. I'm pinning it in place for now just to make sure I'm happy with the position. The bloomers are fitting nicely. I just pull the threads tight like a drawstring, tie a knot, and trim off the excess. I've stitched around the top of the dress to hold it in place. Now I can joint the shoulders. These are jointed with a single thread. I hide the knot under the back of the dress, pass the thread through one shoulder, through the bead, then right through the body to the other shoulder. I stitch through each bead once more, then fasten it off under the back of the dress. I've picked out some dark grey coat buttons for the eyes. Now she needs some Gothic eyeliner. I'm using Derwent Line Maker ink pens for the face detail. I want to keep the mouth quite small and simple for this one. I just add a little colour below the line and blend with the burnisher pencil. That'll need a coat of fixative spray, then it's onto the hair. Flax fibre has a very different texture to acrylic or bamboo roving. It's quite coarse and there's a lot of variation in the fibres. It looks quite unkempt when you take it out of the packet, but once it's all styled it has a lovely shine and feels quite soft, similar to real human hair. I'm needle felting this in with the Clover pen style tool and 3 38 gauge needles. Flax felts quite easily into the head. Because it's a coarser fibre, it feels sort of rough as you're felting it, but it holds quickly. It does cause quite a bit of friction on the felting needles, so I check every now and then to make sure they're not getting too hot. I don't want to break any needles off in the head today. I've sometimes found felting with flax that I finish the project with no problems, only for all 3 needles to snap on the next doll because I didn't notice how worn they were. So I will be changing these needles once I finish this one. Half of the head is going to be black and the other half will be this lilac shade. I wanted to split the colours down the centre, but that button on top of the head is going to be in the way, so I'm going to have to work around it. If you're enjoying watching this little one take shape, don't forget to hit that like button and let me know. This helps the video get seen by more people. You can also subscribe if you like so you don't miss the next one. I think I'm going to give her a side parting and bring a bit of the lilac across to the other side. Then I'll find something to use as a hair clip. I'll felt the front section loosely in place, then tidy it all up a bit. Some artists use hair products like wax on their dolls, but I don't want to use anything that might go sticky or discolour over time. I want it to last for years, so I prefer to leave things natural. I'll probably have to pull out a few of the shorter fibres that won't lie flat. I need to brush out all the knots and straggly bits. That's already starting to look better. She does look like she has a bad case of split ends though, so she needs a good trim. Flax is never going to look as pristine as artificial fibres, but it has its own character that I really like. Just like linen cloth, flax can withstand a lot of heat, so I can smooth it out with hair straighteners and it gives it a lovely shine. It really smells like linen when it's hot too. Perfect. I've named this little one Birdie Knotweed. Flax is just one vegan-friendly fibre that can be needle felted. If you'd like to know more about some of the other fibres I use for doll hair, check out this video next, and I'll see you next time. Bye!